Hi, my name is Mary Arrington, and I'll be presenting on the Stuckey family scenario. So here's the Stuckey family. Rebecca is 25 years old. She enjoys crime TV shows, being active in her local government, and cooking Vietnamese food. And she is just a student right now attending online classes. And then here is Oswald, her husband. He's 27. He enjoys running half marathons, crocheting, and eating his wife's cooking. And he is a businessman. And he just got a job in St. Louis. And then this is their dog, Keyboard. He's 2 years old. He enjoys obsessively following Rebecca around, destroying carpet when left alone, and long runs with Oswald. Here's their overall financial situation. Rebecca and Oswald have $8,500 in checking and savings accounts. They have $7,000 in student debt and then $42,000 in medical debt. For this reason, they will prefer cheaper homes. And unfortunately, Rebecca has an undiagnosed autoimmune disease and has been hospitalized 3 times in the last 5 years, hence the medical debt. For this reason, they pay at least $300 a month in medical expenses. Oswald just graduated and is working a job making $78,000 a year. Rebecca is still attending school online. Using their 25% rule, they know the max mortgage for their home they can pay is $1,625 a month. They are very anxious to find a home with a large backyard for their beloved dog Keyboard to roam freely. They are also looking for a home relatively close to the research hospital that is investigating Rebecca's autoimmune disorder. Rebecca also is looking for a large kitchen to cook Oswald's favorite Vietnamese dishes in. And here is their dream home. The list price is $350,000, and the monthly principal and interest payment would be $1,500 a month. This home is 15 minutes away from Barnes-Jewish, Rebecca's hospital. The yard is big enough for Keyboard to stretch his legs, and Rebecca loves the kitchen. Overall, the house is in great shape. Here is what they're looking at for a more modest selection. The list price is $139,000, and the monthly principal and interest payment is $833 a month. The backyard is spacious enough to impress Keyboard, and there's plenty of room for children to run around in later. The house is 20 minutes away from Barnes-Jewish, Rebecca's hospital, making the location acceptable. The house is very old but seems to be in adequate condition. As a bonus, the back patio is awesome. Rebecca and Oswald are already dreaming of pho on lazy summer evenings out back. Here you can take a look at their family budget. Some things to point out are that after tithing and taxes, they're investing as much as $1,000 a month in long-term savings, about $800 a month in short-term savings, and are using $1,000 of their monthly budget to pay off debt. They could get away with paying a lot less, but because Oswald really wants to get ahead of this debt, they've decided to make it a priority. Here it shows that they only pay $150 in medical, but the rest of the medical fees usually go into insurance. And right now they are paying about $900 a month in rent. Rebecca and Oswald love to plan for the future, and they love the feeling of having money in reserve. So for their emergency fund, they've decided to go save up first for a 3-month emergency fund, and it looks like if they invest their money in a 3% bond mutual fund, they could have $19,500 as soon as 24 months from now. Realistically, they're looking more at the modest home than the dream home, which is $140,000 a year about, and a 20% down payment would be about $27,800. They're going to be investing about $900 a month into their down payment fund, and it looks like until they get, or in about 30 months, they will meet their goal. Then they started looking into mortgages and what kind of mortgage they might be able to get. And they were looking at a 30-year mortgage, which monthly payment would be as low as $535 a month, which is awesome. For the 15-year mortgage, though, they noticed that the monthly payment is only $787 a month, which isn't too much, is significantly less than what they're actually paying right now for rent. Oswald and Rebecca love the idea of having paid off their house 15 years early, and so this will be in heavy consideration. For now, they're thinking 15-year mortgage is the way to go. When you look at their taxes, you'll find that the addition of having a home actually isn't too much or adding too much more to their deductible. You can see that without a home, they're going to get about $13,000, but amount with a home is only $19,400. If they invested in a much more expensive house, this would be different, but because it still hasn't broken the $24,000 mark, their tax liability is actually going to be about the same, with or without a home. Here you can see their transportation. This is a 2014 Nissan Cube that Rebecca's parents actually bought for them as a wedding gift. You can see that it's appreciated in value about $5,000. They'll pay about $1,300 in taxes total. It'll take about $1,300 to finance it, about $8,000 total for fuel. For insurance, they'll pay about $4,500. Repairs will cost about $2,300, and it'll take about $3,500 to maintain their car. For now, because Rebecca is going to school online and only Oswald really needs the car to leave the house, they're getting along just fine with having one car. They're thinking that once they pay off the debt, they might invest in another car, but for now, this car more than meets their needs. Now we can take a look at their long-term debts. They have about $7,000 in student loans and $42,000 in medical debt. And of course, every year they're always paying $6,500 a year for tithing. Now we can take a look at the PT for the modest home. The principal and interest is about $781 for a 15-year mortgage. But when you add in the property tax, the home insurance, and mortgage insurance, it's actually going to go up to $1,000 a month. And you can see that they're actually not going to pay any mortgage insurance because Rebecca and Oswald are determined to save up for that 20% minimum payment. If we look at if they can actually qualify to get a mortgage or for a loan to buy this house, banks usually require for them to be for less than 36% of their income to be dedicated to paying off debt, including a mortgage. So 36% of their monthly income is $2,340 a month. If you add up $650 of tithing plus $1,006 for the mortgage and $1,000 of debt repayment, that comes out to $2,656. That's greater than their 36% of $2,340, so they will not be able to qualify for the loan on the modest home. So when thinking of whether to buy or rent, there are lots of pros and cons to consider. The pros of buying are it feels great to own a home. There's an awesome backyard for keyboard to enjoy, amazing kitchen, and the home does appreciate in value. The cons of buying are that it's not only are they paying for the mortgage, but they're also going to have to pay more money to maintain the property as well. Even not considering repairs, 40.86% of their income would be dedicated to just paying off debt. And there's going to be no increase in tax cuts despite increased expenses because the home isn't quite expensive enough to break the $24,000 barrier. When you look at renting, though, it's easier to maintain because the landlord is the one who has to fix things. And Rebecca and Oswald love easy. It's cheaper than a mortgage, and it allows the family to focus on paying off other debts faster. The cons of renting are that it's annoying to take keyboard on walks every day instead of just releasing him into the backyard. There's no appreciation of the home value that they're renting, and the kitchen is smaller. Looking at all of these cons and pros, however, Rebecca and Oswald come to the decision that they should rent because the cons of buying are a lot worse than the cons of just renting. In the meantime, though, they'll save up for a down payment, and in a few years, Oswald will have hopefully received yearly raises that will make the home purchase more affordable. Here, they took time to calculate how much interest they would pay based on if they paid off the loan in 15 years or 30 years. Loan 1 is the 15-year loan, and if you look at the total interest, second from the bottom on the red column, they'll only end up paying $36,000 in interest. But if you look at loan 2, which is 30 years, they're going to pay almost $100,000 extra dollars in interest. Oswald hates the sound of that, and so it looks like they're going to go with loan 1, a 15-year loan. And going that route would save them $63,000 total. Here they also wanted to look at whether what would be the wisest investment for them. They could invest in their dream home, which after appreciation of 30 years would give them, it would be valued at about $1,800,000. Their modest home, on the other hand, after 30 years would only go up to about $700,000. But if instead of if they decided to take the difference in monthly payments between these two homes and invest that difference into the stock market, after 30 years, they would have almost $2,900,000. And so, because Rebecca and Oswald are huge fans of making extra money, they feel more at peace than ever with the thought of investing in the modest home and taking the extra money, investing it in the stock market. So in conclusion, Rebecca and Oswald are loving the benefits of living on the cheaper side. They know that when they buy a house, it will be a lot like the modest one. Right now, however, they are still in $50,000 of medical and student loan debt. Until they eliminate this debt, or until their income increases significantly through a raise or Rebecca taking on a job, they will rent. All is not lost, however. Until they can afford the monthly payments on the mortgage, Rebecca and Oswald will use their time well. To prepare to buy a home in the future, they will be saving up for a down payment, paying off more rent, practicing living in a tighter budget in preparation for the increased monthly payments on a mortgage, and raising their credit score just a bit higher to hopefully lower the interest rates on their future mortgage. Once they have everything saved up for the mortgage and for their emergency fund, and if Oswald is making more money a year than $78,000, or if they pay off their debt, they will immediately look into buying a home much like the modest home. So before they know it, Keyboard will definitely have a large backyard to roam in. Thank you for watching my presentation.